everybody, how are you doing today? I am absolutely delighted that you've decided to spend a little bit of your day with me, and today we're going to talk about good versus bad replicas. So I have two what they call super replicas here, and they're basically bags that are as close to the original as possible, and I've got another set of bags which is the same design, which are a lot cheaper. And there's a reason they're a lot cheaper. I would say, in my opinion, they're just not as good a copy of the real version. Now, if you don't like replica bags, if you're not a fan, then I would definitely suggest not watching my video and watching something else, because this video is for my replica bag lovers. And I thought it would just be handy to just give you some tips on kind of like small details that might escape some people's minds. I think when you do go to buy a replica, it's really important that you try and buy something as close to the original as you can afford, because the replica price range there's a big spectrum basically. So you want to buy something you can afford, but also buy something that looks reasonably like the original. Okay, the two bags I'm going to show you right now are the Gucci Soho Disco bag. So this is the one I bought a couple of years ago. What do you think? What do you think of that? Do you think that's a good or bad replica? Shall we have it compared to something else? Here is the newest addition to my collection. I think you can quite obviously tell which is the kind of superior, higher quality, better copy bag, and that would be this red one just here. You can see the finish of the leather is very matte. This one is kind of like, you can almost see it's a little bit shiny how it reflects the light just here. And also this is made of leather, and this one is made of plastic. It smells awful. I think you can tell instantly which one is the good replica bag. Another feature is the logos. You can see this one here looks quite fat. The lettering is quite fat, it's quite rounded, and this one here is a lot taller and slimmer. What you can't see and what I can see is that this one is raised quite high from the base of the bag just here, and it shouldn't be like that. It kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. You can see the shadows a lot more on this one than you can on here. And the lettering here, it's meant to protrude a little bit, but it's not meant to be as obvious as this. And also the shape of the bag, this one is very rectangular, and that's how they're meant to look. This one is kind of rectangular, but if I show you here, this side here should come up a bit more and just be a little bit higher on the corners. And yeah, I mean, it's so obvious, isn't it, which one is the good one and which one is the bad one. Another small difference that may escape your eye is the tassels. So each of these Gucci Soho Disco bags has a tassel. This red one has got loads of little tassels in it, as you can see just here. And they're collected into this golden bit of hardware that holds it all together. You've got the same one here, but you can see they're just not as many tassels. It just kind of looks really sad in comparison to the red one. The straps basically are the same. So you've got the strap just here. This one is a little bit narrower, but I mean, to the untrained eye, no one would know. And you've got the same kind of little buckle just here. That's virtually identical. Another telling feature of a not so good rep is when you look inside. So in here, it's got the beige canvas. Also, my red one has the same beige canvas just in there, which is nice and good for those of us that like to spill things in our bags. I'm guilty of that, definitely. But the stitching along the outside, just here, not the outside, on the inside, it's really thick, and it just looks very kind of clumsy and not very luxurious, I would say. So even though the lining is the same, I would definitely say the stitching is it's just not as good. In here, in my red one, you don't have any of those bulky kind of lines. Everything's sewn in so that it's all flat, and you can't really see some of the seams on some of them as well. So it's hard for me to show you, but you can definitely tell inside. But I mean, who's going to look inside your bag except you? I'll try and put up a picture as well of the actual real bag that you can get in the shops, and you can see this is a really good version. So yes, I probably won't be using this as much. It'll probably be relegated to the back of my wardrobe. And I got this, I think, a few months ago, and I have literally been using it non-stop. I love the colour of this bag. It's such a vibrant, rich red. And a lot of my bags are like black or cream or beige and like those kind of neutral colours that will go with everything. But I like the fact that this has a splash of colour. And it really dresses and elevates my outfits. Doesn't matter what I'm wearing, I could be wearing tracky bottoms and like trainers, and if I put this on, I instantly look a little bit stylish. So I love that. I love the gold hardware as well. My friend actually has the real versions of this in black and in the beige. And the only differences when we sat down to compare them was that this bag was a little bit taller, but literally by a fraction. There's a screw, a tiny little screw on here, which on the real version you can't see, it's kind of concealed. So that's another difference. And also we had decided that the width of this strap was slightly, ever so slightly thicker than her real one. I've been getting so much use out of this. It's a great bag that you can just go out shopping with. You can stick your purse in there just like that, your phone, your blusher, anything you want really. You can just stuff it all in there, your car keys, and you can really get easy access to it as well. Let me just quickly show you the packaging. So I got it in this box like this, and I am a very clumsy person, I just can't help it. When I opened up the box, I actually managed to cut open the little handles. So actually my handles, well, I've snipped through them. Inside the box you get a little protective covering, just like that. It's really nice. I also got the little cardboard bag as well, and you've got lots of other bits and bobs in there. So the next two bags I'm going to show you, and actually long time followers of my channel will recognise my YSL croc embossed little handbag just here. I did a what's in my bag video about this a couple of years ago, a really long time ago. But at the time I loved this. I used to wear it everywhere, even during the day. I think this is very much an occasion bag, but I used to wear it out during the day, and it's just gorgeous. And for me at the time, I couldn't find a better replica version of this, so I made do with this, even though I was quite aware that it's not the best copy in terms of, if you look at the real one, I'll pop a picture up, you can see that the embossing should be a lot smaller, the actual scale should be a lot smaller, and just there should be a lot more detail. So I have ordered myself what I think is a far superior version of this bag, and here she is. Oh wow, they look completely different. Hold on, whoops, let me hold it so we're holding it the same, but look, they look completely different in my opinion. You can instantly see that this has far more kind of scaling on it, and even though they are both actually made of leather, I just think this one looks a little bit more luxurious. Also, the logos on this one sits a lot lower down, and also the lettering is a lot smaller, neater, and less kind of bulky. If you look at this one, you can see the Y sits up a lot higher, so it occupies far more of the front of the bag than what it should do. And also just the lettering is a lot bigger, and I don't think it is this big on the actual original bag. Also the tassel, which is one of my favourite features of the bag. On this one, the top of the tassel actually sits just before the bag ends, so just before the bottom of the bag finishes, so it doesn't actually sit flush, and this is probably something, yeah, you can see here, it just kind of slightly protrudes out. On the Super Replica, the tassel, the top of the tassel and the end of the bag just kiss, so that it doesn't protrude at all, and that's how it should be, that's how the original is. Also, what I found with the straps are that they're very similar, so they're both, it's both sort of silver hardware. Here we go. I love that noise. So the straps are very similar. These ones probably are a little bit more shiny just because the bag is newer. But what I found, and actually this is not a good thing with my Super Rep, is that the links are seriously twisted. They should all be kind of flat like that, and you should just wear it like, so it just lies flat on your arm. But these, for some weird reason, it must be a fault with them, and you know, with replicas you do get odd idiosyncrasies, but every time I try to straighten it and I sit there and I try and unwind it so that it's all flat, it just twists up all the other way around at the other end. So that's one thing I'm quite disappointed about. You can see these ones aren't twisted and these ones are kind of really twisted. But it's not something that is going to particularly bother me because the strap's a strap. Who's really going to look at that? Let me also quickly point out that in my bag replica, not only is the chain better, but also the inside of the lining is suede, which for me as a clumsy person probably isn't as good, because I have actually managed to lose the cap of a lipstick in here, and the lipstick went all over the bag, and it was a nightmare to get out because suede naturally is a more difficult material to work with. With my Super Replica inside, it's just got a kind of thick black cloth lining, which suits the clumsy Sam that I am. But yeah, I mean, it's black, so it's not really overly obvious. Also, there's the Saint Laurent Paris stamping on here, which is much more defined, I think, and just looks much more neater than this one. So I have kind of mixed feelings feelings about my YSL Croc Emboss bag. I think from the front, this one looks way better. It's just the chain that bugs me a little bit. So in terms of wear and how much I've used it since getting it a couple of months ago, I would say I've probably only used it once or twice, just because for me it's very much a special occasion bag, and haven't really been anywhere special, like anywhere special for drinks or gone out for a nice meal, just because I haven't had the opportunity to yet. But I know I will use this a ton when I'm back in my groove and back out there doing my thing, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful bag. Let me show you the packaging. So I got the bag in this black Saint Laurent box like this, and it comes with a black cardboard bag like so. Did it come with another? Oh yes it did. And then it came in this protective cloth just like that. So as you can see from the bags that I've shown you today, there are real differences between a bad replica and a good replica. Obviously a lot of it depends on your budget. For me personally, I've learned a lot from buying sort of cheaper replicas and then kind of graduating into more expensive ones. I think basically you have to accept when you're buying a replica bag, it's never going to be the exact copy. It really isn't. It doesn't matter how much the supplier tells you it is going to be. If you want the exact copy in terms of materials, finish, design, logoing, everything, it's best just to buy the actual designer bag itself, because you will not be disappointed. Oh yes, and if you want to know where I got this bag from and this bag from, there aren't any links and I can't mention anything else about the bags on my YouTube channel. If you want to know why, then watch my bags, FAQs, frequently asked questions. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you very soon. Lots of love. Bye bye.